Hola, good evening, buenas noches. I'm sorry I could not be there for back to school night tonight, but I wanted to give you a little insight into our classroom and show you what I would have if I could have been there. Um, so first of all, bienvenidos, welcome. Over here you see a quick little information sheet. For this video, of course, you can pause it and read anything closer if you want. I am going to try to go as quickly as I can, so this is not a very long video for you. All right, let's get back to our full screen here. So since you can't be in the classroom, I just wanted to show you a little bit of what it looks like in there. All right, so we've got our desks in a U shape like this. My Spanish 2 classes don't use all of the desks. Just kind of nice to have them so we've got some space. The kids can spread out a little bit. You'll notice that on the walls, we've got a lot of resources there. There's some verb charts. There's some a word wall. Question word wall. Question words. It's lots of resources, numbers, colors the kids can use. Over here we have some books. So in a few weeks we'll start individual reading. We'll start at 5 minutes a week and then we'll work our way up to 10 minutes a week. Students will choose a book. I have a variety of books, different interest levels, different subject matters, and different levels of difficulty. So I'll help the kids choose a book that would hopefully interest them and be at their level. Most of them are written for language learners, so they will be something that the kids will be able to read and hopefully enjoy. Just some more of our walls in there with our resources for the kids. What to expect. So basically we use Google Classroom. I use it all the time. The kids are accessing it every single day. We are a proficiency-based classroom. We do a lot of in-class games and lots of stories and music. So first, let me show you Google Classroom. First, when the kids log in, they see the stream. This is where I will put some just important information, notices. It's under the classwork that they will find everything else. So here's the week of this week. First, they always start class with their daily check-in. They fill this out. This lets me know how they're doing overall, and then it also has questions pertaining to our current unit. They have this daily slideshow. This is our lesson plans. Every unit that we do, they have this link. So if they're absent, they can click on the day and see what they missed that day. If they want to re-watch anything or check anything, they can go back to it here. So they have that access. They have this grade help form. So if they ever find an error on Aspen or they have a 0, they're not sure what it is, or if they make up work, they fill out this grade form here to let me know. And then they have this list of graded assignments. So when they click on this list here, they'll see a list of all the graded assignments that we've had so far for this term. They can see how to make it up. If it's online, they can do it themselves. If it's in person, they do it with me. It also has a link to that Google form so that when they make it up, they can let me know. Our graded assignments are here as well. And then some start of year materials. So they've got the class information, a lot of what I'm going over with you tonight as well, virtual classroom, syllabus. So they've got all of this here on Google Classroom. I know the parent view is a little bit different, but you can always have your student log in and show you from their side. All right, and then as I said, we are a proficiency-based classroom. So what that means is that we are focusing on the modes of communication. So we are going to be doing interpretive assignments, interpersonal, and presentational. Interpretive is basically reading and listening. It's when the information is coming into our own brains and we're working on it in our own brains by ourselves. Interpersonal is exchanging information, so it's a back and forth, a conversation, a question answer. It could be a writing, it could be like texting back and forth, or conversation speaking back and forth. Presentational is when they have information that they are sharing out with one intended audience. It could be that they're doing a writing assignment for me. It could be that they're doing a speaking assessment. It could be presenting something to the class. We actually don't really do a lot of whole class presentations like that, but it would be sharing a piece of information, however short or long, with one intended audience without that back and forth of interpersonal. We do a lot of in-class games. Sometimes the kids have this for homework, or they have access to one that they could practice if they want to do some work on their own. And we do a lot of stories and music in class. So we are learning Spanish based on stories and music. Some of our stories are created for us that we're reading and then working with. Some of them we are creating together as a class, which helps the kids take some ownership in it. When they've created the characters, they are creating what's happening in the story. I've maybe provided the focus verbs or words that we want to make sure that we're using in that story. Vocab and grammar explanations are secondary. So if you took a language in high school, you may have learned with verb charts, conjugations, drills, worksheets, things like that. We don't do it quite the same way. They'll be exposed to that and they'll see it, so they can see some of that, but the focus is going to be on using the language in context, which doesn't allow for the individual verb conjugations the same way that maybe you were taught, that I was taught. All right, so some expectations. Our cell phone policy, the school has a no cell phone policy. During class, cell phones have to be in their backpack. If I see it, it has to go into the caddy, and then it's in the caddy every day. Second offense, I notify you. Third and beyond, it goes right to their hub, and their associate principal takes care of any discipline that needs to come from that. This is my virtual classroom. The students have this on Google Classroom. I think I sent it home as well. It's just a place that has everything that I'm talking about right now. Links to everything is right there for them. All right, and then this expectations sheet went home in the newsletter last week and again this week, and I went over this with the students in class. Basically, they need their Chromebook every single day. They don't need a folder. We have a folder in class that keeps all their materials in class, but if they do want to bring stuff home, having a folder is the best way to do that to make sure it makes it back to school. Grading, there is no extra credit. If they're struggling grade-wise and they want a better grade, they can redo anything. They can come see me and we can talk about what we can make up, what we can work on, but there is no extra credit. We have two categories. Classwork and participation is 10%. Any standards-based assessment, that's where I'm actually assessing their ability to communicate in Spanish. That's 90%. We talk about language being a journey or a path. So we've got our path to proficiency here. Most kids coming into Spanish 2 we're hoping they're in that novice high range. Some kids are still the novice mid, and that's okay. We'll work with them. A couple are into intermediate low, but again, most of us are at novice high. At the end of this year, everybody should feel pretty comfortable in the intermediate low proficiency level, which is always using sentences when asked. It's creating sentences on your own instead of just memorizing and spitting them back to me, and that's that intermediate low. All right, we've got our 3 modes of communication there, and then the class expectations. Here's what I expect of students and what they should expect of me. This acknowledgement form, you guys filled this, most of you filled this out already. I sent this home in the newsletter, so I had a link directly to it in there. You don't have to click it from here. All right, that is their expectations. So homework is something I don't know if I talked about, but I don't actually give homework. Everything we do is done in class. There's plenty of time in class to complete the work. If for some reason they don't get it done in class, then they need to finish it on their own. But when we have TST and the long advisory times, like I find that kids are very able to get the work done in class or in school, and they can just follow up with me if they need any help doing that. All right, gracias, thank you. If you have any questions, please contact me. You can email me or have your child ask me as well. All right, have a good night. Adios.